I was 15 the first time I got scammed by an infomercial. It was a band. So you put it on your stomach and it vibrated. And it promised you kind of like a Victoria's Secret model body in 6 days. That was a technology, like vibration, like ultrasonic vibration. And I talked my mom into buying it. Like I made her believe that this was possible for both of us. Sorry, mommy, if you're listening. Anyway, the same energy now is all over the internet. One offer, 35 promises, call now, only today, $99.97 when the true price is $1,000,000, but you can get it for less than 1,000. So today, I want to talk about how you can pitch your offer every single day and never sound like that. Hello, my love. Welcome to Brand Confidence for Creatives. Are you feeling stuck in a cycle of overthinking, trying to build your brand? I'm Eugenia, but you can call me E. I'm a marketing and brand coach, and I spent years stuck in the cycle of researching, hesitating, and hiding until I got clear on my voice and my message. In this podcast, I'll guide you through the strategies you need to get clear on what you want to say, build a personal brand, and create consistent magnetic marketing. If you ever thought, I know I have something to say, I just don't know how to say it, you are in the right place. So grab your coffee and let's dive in. I am opening the founding round of my first ever group experience. It's 12 weeks and it's for the coach or the consultant or the online educator who either wants to launch a podcast, already has one, but it's kind of just posting, because you've heard podcasts are great for your brand and they make the sales process easier and everyone just says so. But if you are honest, you are not sure yours is doing anything, or you've just been circling this idea for way too long. And I get it, because a podcast that isn't built for anything is just another thing on your to-do list and a great personal accomplishment, but not necessarily a business asset. So in 12 weeks, we're going to change that. We plan it, we map it for conversion, we optimize it, and you walk away with your podcast ready to go or ready to grow the second you say showtime. So I'm keeping this first cohort small, very intentional, because it's going to be the one with the most access to me. And this is going to be truly the best pricing this program will ever have. If you're curious, the next step is a call, no commitment, just to learn more about the program. The link is in the show notes, and I'm excited to hear from you. Growing up in Venezuela, my mom was never a fan of TV. Nothing morally against it. She wasn't fighting TV. She just thought that TV wasn't really a necessity. So we didn't really watch TV for years. I mean, we had one TV at home. It was in my mom's bedroom, and that was it. I also watched TV during the summers and when I was visiting my dad or my grandparents. So I watched a lot of novelas. So probably that's influenced a lot of my personalities. But not really. I wasn't a big TV watcher in my regular life at home. We did have computers and we played games, but I don't have a lot of memories of me sitting down to watch cartoons at 7 years old. Well, that changed when I started high school. I realized how uncool I was. Like, I was unaware of the things that people were watching. I didn't know a single Britney song. So mind you, in high school in Venezuela, it starts when you are around 13. So it's brutal from a very young age. So I knew that things had to change. I needed a TV. I needed to stay current. So I had a conversation with my mom, and she understood my situation and gave me my own TV. She put it in my room, and you cannot imagine how happy I was. I was getting all these channels. Now I had MTV, like I had cable, and it was the days of Laguna Beach. So I was so happy. And obviously my popularity increased, but that's a story for another day. So something I learned in my early days as a proud TV owner was that at night, there was a thing called infomercials. And it was basically, I felt like an 1-hour show where they were talking about this product, different products, usually some cleaning product, workout equipment, some magic working, gravity bending product that could literally change your life in every aspect. I remember this specific product that was a band that you would put around your abdomen and it would vibrate. And the product promised to give you a Victoria's Secret model's body in just 60 days. And If you're thinking like, oh my goodness, who would fall for it? Hey, I talked my mom into buying it. So do with that as you wish. Maybe I'm just a good salesperson. So these infomercials were like commercials, but full of information for, I'm telling you, like very long. It was just not your regular like 30-second TV spot. They were very long. They were making wild product claims. They would always include the announcer saying something like, call now, limited spots. This really costs $10,000, but only today you can get it for $35.99. And I don't know if they still run infomercials today. I'm a streaming girly, so I don't see them, but I'm sure they're still out there. My guess is they're still out there, but I sure hope they've put some regulations in place because they were wild. So fast forward decades later, we have now the digital space, and many businesses are selling like an infomercial. They're talking about the product for hours, 24/7, using wild, accelerated claims, saying that one product can solve every single problem. Some of these people online, they're like, oh, feel bad about your body? Buy this exercise program. Oh, you're doing poorly at your job? This exercise program will help you focus so you can do better at your job. Oh, is your relationship struggle? Oh, you guessed it. This exercise program will make you more confident, and that will be the thing that is going to save your marriage. Oh, you're drowning in debt. Oh, don't worry. This exercise program will make you more motivated to work harder and make more money so you can be financially free. Like this exercise program usually costs $5,000, but you can get it today for only $99.97. We've seen it, we've experienced it, and we've probably been targeted by ads with some of this messaging. And we sure as heck know that we don't want to run our business that way. But then at the same time, we have the reality that as a business, we do need to sell every day, make offers, make invitations. So we don't have a problem with selling. And you might even be like incredible at sales calls. No doubt about it. It's just the mechanism that we see online. So yeah, making an offer is not the problem. And if you have a podcast, I actually recommend making a pitch to something, a free or paid product in every single episode. But how do you do it? How do you constantly talk about your offer without sounding like an infomercial? Don't worry, I'm also traumatized by infomercials, as you've probably guessed by now. And there are 3 simple things that you can do to avoid that feeling. In order to talk about your offer without sounding like an infomercial, we first have to have clarity in the problem we solve. Because if we don't, then we're going to end up making promises of solving 3,500 different problems, which can cause confusion, obviously. And internally, this is the biggest one. It can place you in this dangerous place of cognitive dissonance because you're going to feel like you're promising to solve everything in a person's life. And you know that in reality, that's not the truth. Like, sure, it can impact so many areas, but it doesn't solve every single problem. So start by getting clear on the problem your person needs solved, not on the features of your offer, not on every single thing that could be touched by taking this program or buying this offer, not on why you love it so much. And all those things, of course, are important. But what's the one thing your person is ultimately struggling with? And what's their perceived desire? Don't sanitize it to make it sound like more sexy for marketing. Like, how do they talk about it? Next, in order to talk about your offer without sounding like an infomercial, we have to go deeper on that problem and then describe the effects of having said problem. Because a business, yes, it exists to solve problems. It doesn't exist to just make our dreams fulfilled. It's a beautiful way that we can be fulfilled by solving other person's problems. When we have a problem, though, it usually bleeds into other areas of our life. So your client, yes, they have a problem that your offer is just perfectly equipped and designed to solve, but I'm sure that the problem has symptoms that show up in her day-to-day, in her emotions, in her frustrations, in her beliefs, and also in the physical, like actual physical things that she cannot accomplish until she solves that problem. Like that problem is preventing her from moving forward in other areas of her life. So start by making a list of symptoms of how that problem shows up in your client's life. So Get creative, pen to paper. What are the signs? What are the areas that this problem is affecting? And lastly, in order to talk about your offer without sounding like an infomercial, we have to constantly repeat how you're able to solve that problem. Because repetition doesn't feel icky because repetition itself is wrong, but because repeating a message that feels fake activates our mental alarms. But we've already deactivated those alarms earlier by getting clear on the message and the symptoms. So now we need to say it and say it again. Here's where we become unapologetic. We're not going to say it for 3 hours straight. So it's not like we're going to be live on Instagram or on TikTok for 5 hours, just saying the same thing over and over again. Obviously not. If you have a podcast, you don't need to spend 10 minutes of your podcast making a pitch. But now that you understand how important that problem is, it's kind of your, I would say, obligation really to go out and tell your client, like, hey, I understand the problem you have. I understand how it's affecting you. And I happen to have the perfect solution for it. If this is the right step, if this is the right time, this is your next step. That's it. You are making an invitation. You are opening the door. Trust that your client is smart enough and wise enough to know if the offer is right for them at that time. It is not your job to convince or manipulate or bring 55 claims and, wild claims. It is your job to just make the presentation and make the invitation constantly so they know that there's something for them for the problem they're struggling with. So start by writing a version of a pitch that you can make this week on your podcast or on social media where you can tell your client, hey, I see you. This offer is perfectly designed for you. This is your next step. So to recap, avoid sounding like an infomercial when talking about your offer by first getting clear on the problem you solve, then describing the symptoms or effects of having that problem, and third, making consistent invitations for those who are ready to get that problem solved, for them to know that you have a way of solving their problem. It is as simple as that, and sometimes we overcomplicate things, and that's how we end up, not we, because we are not those people. We're not there, but that's how some people in the internet end up sounding like an infomercial. I know you are not it, and if you want to get the step-by-step of doing that on your podcast, along with all of the other steps of how do you set up your podcast to make sure it's actually selling, this is exactly what we're doing in my group experience, 12 weeks. I'm so excited. Remember that the link to book a call is in the show notes. It truly is my invitation for you to know if this is the next step for you. So book a call. In the meantime, write your pitch, practice your pitch, be unapologetic about it because you're so equipped to solve someone's problem and stop those symptoms for good. So I'm proud of you. I'm rooting for you. And I see you back here very soon. Un beso. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you loved it, don't keep it to yourself. Send it to a friend who's also trying to grow their brand without losing themselves in the process. And if you want to make my day, drop a quick review on Apple Podcasts. Seriously, it means the world to me. And I know that this show is helping you show up with confidence and clarity. See you back here soon for the next episode. Un beso.